There's also Pete and Lou's idea for the layout. Downstairs in the basement, they're planning to dig out 15 tonnes of earth to create just 2 bedrooms. There'll be a master with ensuite at the back leading to an oversized storage area and second bedroom to the front. Upstairs is little more than a glorified revamp with a kitchen and shower area leading through to a large open-plan living space. I think there's a way of upping their total rent by as much as 30%. In Bethnal Green, Pete and Louise are starting out on their massive basement conversion.
Yeah, we decided to take Sarah's advice, raising the joists rather than digging down simply because of the risk. We thought that would be safer. We were worried about the ceiling height, but I think it'll work. I think it'll be fine.
Pete and Louise are potentially saving thousands by raising the floor rather than excavating into the unknown. That's one of the big decisions out of the way.
I spoke to 6 local estate agents and they were all of the opinion that Sarah's idea of having 3 bedrooms would increase the market value by up to £60,000 and rental value by possibly £100 a week. So there's something we couldn't sniff at, really.
So far, they seem to be going with my ideas. But they're both creative designers, and a week later, they're not as convinced by other suggestions.
I think we felt that it would be lovely to have a really beautiful kitchen that you walk in off the street into.
It would be more conventional to have the sitting room upstairs and go downstairs to a kitchen, breakfast, dining space with a table, and it's sort of more normal layout.
As it stands at the moment, we're quite happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, I really like having the idea of having the kitchen up here. It's you know, I think we've got our hearts set on that now.
However hard you try, the levels of natural light will always be compromised in a basement.
I mean, this is undeniably darker down here, isn't it, than upstairs? Yeah. It makes more sense to have the kitchen in the darker space.
We've thought long and hard over it, and we've got to make decisions and go with them now, otherwise it's not going to get done. So I think we've made our minds up with it, haven't we?
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, but no thanks.
In Bethnal Green, Pete and Louise are on site every day, and they're well on the way to dividing up the upstairs to create that all-important 3rd bedroom.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like upholsterers anymore now. I don't think it did from the moment we made it a 3-bedroom project. Don't regret what we're doing for an instant. Now I've got a much bigger life now, you know, with Lou and lots of stuff to do, so...
It might not be easy, but slowly and surely these two are coming around to a developer's way of thinking. Over in Bethnal Green, Pete and Louise are reworking the layout downstairs to make sure they get 2 good-sized bedrooms, but the schedule is starting to slip. In fact, they're just 2 weeks off their deadline. The problem is, these 2 designers can't stop tinkering with the plans. This time it's the stairs.
If it was up to me, we would have had this job done in and out 8 weeks, but because of these changes, you know, it slowed us down quite a bit and delayed us.
Pete and Louise should have decided on their stairs weeks ago. The way that a staircase is designed can make a huge difference in basement. A week later, the front of the flat gets a facelift.
Yeah, well done.
And when at last the staircase arrives, the end is in sight. They're finally getting on top of their first ever development.
There's been site meetings before.
That I wasn't expecting. 3rd bedroom and bathroom and the staircase have definitely taken us way over our original budget, but then flat, really.
I think we can be really happy with the result.
Yeah. It'll be worth it in the end.
Green, it's 7 months since Peter and Louise started their epic basement conversion. And wow, what a conversion it is. Their old upholstery shop has been completely retailored. Pete and Louise were sure they wanted the kitchen in the front room, but what a kitchen it is. They've combined dark wood and shiny steel and spotlights for a really high-end finish. Perhaps even a little too high-end for a hard-wearing rental.
It's utterly beautiful. I've got to say, you must be very pleased with it.
Yeah. Well, I think we're pretty smug, yeah. It's come out all right.
It's still going to be a little bit annoying, and so that I think it's a bit odd that the kitchen is here. When you come through the door here, You kind of come into this great space, and it's just a bit odd that it's a kitchen rather than a living room. Are you pleased with it here?
I love it. I love it.
Do you?
Yeah.
So no second thoughts?
No regrets at all.
Maybe not.
No.
I mean, it is lovely and light. The big question mark always was, though, what's it like downstairs with the sitting room downstairs? Is it quite dark down there?
No, you get plenty of light down there as well. It's worked out just fine.
Let's see.
The stairs down continue the wood steel theme, with glass panels adding an extra dimension of openness. The front of the cavernous old basement is the property's biggest transformation. Again, the styling is immaculately contemporary, but does it pass muster as a living room?
And the glass lets as much light as you possibly could get down here. But I think that raising the ceiling has made a massive difference in the sense of space. And I still think it's a shame it's not the kitchen down here, but it does improve it dramatically having this higher ceiling.
Stacking the two living areas to the front means room for 3-bedroom suites rather than the 2 Pete and Louise had planned, adding the kind of major value you need to compete in a tough market. The budget rose from £90,000 to £112,000, which isn't bad looking at the spec. The big question now is whether the market, which changed beyond all recognition during their development, will provide anywhere near the £500 a week rent they were hoping for.
On the rentals market, I think they've probably overspent. I think if you were doing this up to sell on, certainly the specification would be very good.
Very clever, raising the floor and maximising the height in here.
3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. I think this will certainly appeal to the professional rental market.
In the current market, I'd hope to achieve around £485 a week.
I would give this property a rental value of £500 per week.
I'm very confident that we could achieve a figure of £550 per week.
We've had 3 agents trying to value it for rental, and they've valued it at £485 a week, £500 a week and £550 a week.
That's great. It really is great. I mean, we've worked so hard for this, and I'm really glad that we've got pretty much what we were looking, well, a little better than we were hoping for.
So you've done incredibly well, you bought very well, which is the key. And obviously you did this to rent. Do you know how much it would be worth now if you were to put it on the market?
We could guess around, I don't know, 380, something like that.
Well, we have had 3 agents in also to value it, just to see what they said. And they came in at 385, 420 and 450,000.
That's 50 grand shy of £500,000. That's
Yeah.
a ridiculous amount of money.
So you'd make a profit if you sold it of between £123,000 and £188,000. I think you'd be better off selling it now than renting it out and then selling it in a couple of years' time when someone's ruined your beautiful finish.
Oh God, that's a difficult one. If we could get 450,000 for it by selling it straight away, then
I'm going to put you on the spot. Which do you think? Sell or rent?
She said, yeah.
yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, it's a sell. Brilliant.
What flat?
A while later, Pete and Louise decide not to sell and are now renting it out for £540 a week. That's a good 10% return. But personally, in today's market, I would have cut and run.